Good afternoon to our guests. My name is Chris Sharps. I am the education coordinator here at Mountaineer Boys State and our officer of the day and the MC for our inauguration this afternoon. Again, want to welcome all of our guests, whether they're here in person or watching via live stream. So, without further ado, I would like to welcome up our soon-to-be former governor, Will Behrens.
Soon to be former in about 20 minutes. Could I have Evan McElwain up to do the invocation?
Will you please bow your heads? Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, which we are about to receive from thy bounty, Christ our Lord. Amen.
And then for our pledge, Mr. Aaron Insani.
Please rise and remain standing for the national anthem.
I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Welcome back to the stage for his closing remarks as governor, Will Behrens. Please be seated.
So, before I get started, I would just like to make a formal apology. I left my dress shoes at home, so we're rocking with Nikes. The boys probably don't care. The Legion guys probably don't care. My mother certainly does. Over this past week, I have had one recurring question asked to me. And if I had a nickel for every time I heard, how does it feel to be a has-been governor? I could probably move to Florida and retire. But, you know, every single time I get asked that question, I try and respond the same way. Feels pretty good. And that's not because I dislike the position or I regret any of the experiences that I've had over the past year. In fact, being the governor of Boise State has been one of the best things to happen to me thus far. I enjoy being the outgoing governor because I'm really excited to see who is going to take my place, and also the places of my constituents, the Board of Public Works, so on and so forth. When I came back this year, I was expecting to see you all go through something completely different than what I went through when I was at Boise State. You know, I had my own struggles. Our party had a unique platform, so did the Federalist Party. You know, it was a completely new experience for me. And then when I came back this year, it was almost really uncannily similar. Like, for instance, the other day I came over here in this assembly hall, sat right over there, to come and watch the Nationalist Party caucus. If their jeers didn't say something to you. So last year during, I was part of the Nationalist Party. Last year during our caucus, our first caucus at least, the second one was much better. We got about 10 minutes of good work done, and then the rest of it was just utter chaos. Yeah. So I was surprised when I came into this year's Nationalist Party caucus to see about 10 minutes of good work get done, and then the rest was utter chaos. Thankfully, they picked it up in the second one, but it was kind of funny to see. But you know, maybe that's where the similarities end, because that following night, the party platforms would be published, and you know, last year each party had its own unique platform. They talked about education, jobs, infrastructure, voting rights. So this year's platform will be different. Both platforms were very similar and also focused on those exact four things. The debates, the speeches, the platforms, the caucuses, everything was very similar to how it was last year. And I was kind of like, huh, that's weird. I thought this was going to be a whole unique experience, and then I kind of thought of something. You guys are doing a very similar thing to what we did last year, which means that you all are going to make very similar mistakes, much like that first Nationalist caucus. But that also means that you would probably learn the same lessons. You learn how to formulate a proper and productive meeting. You learn how to introduce someone, how to give a speech. All those types of things, all those pitfalls that we fell into last year, you guys also learned about and are now steps ahead of people who haven't experienced the same things that you all have. So, in a way, by all of us having a similar experience, we all learn the same lessons, and we're all kind of a step above our colleagues who haven't. And I think that that's very cool. One key difference that you had from this year that I did not have last year is that you had a very cool and awesome and handsome and cool governor from last year. Wow, you're gonna make me blush.
Love you, Will. Love you, Will. Love you, Will. Love you, Will.
That's another thing, we'll get to that later. But, you know, that must have been, that's one thing that's new for you guys. Last year when I was running, I didn't really have somebody who was here last year who kind of had a really fresh idea in his mind of what it was like exactly to go through the whole program and to experience it from like a first-person point of view. I had Damien, but Damien is in his 20s, and your 20s are basically your 30s, and your 30s are practically ancient. So I couldn't really relate to him as much. So I couldn't really relate to. But yeah, I couldn't really relate to Damien as much since he was the acting governor last year, as I was able to relate to some of you guys. I've had a great time these past couple days answering your questions about what the program was like last year, what I went through, asking me about campaign strategies, all those types of things. I've had a really good time answering those questions, as I'm sure that my other four guys around here, some of them are already standing, but if you went to Boys State last year, stand up real quick. We have Colin and Blue and Xander, and Jay is here somewhere. I don't know where. Hi, there he is. And Braden Whitlatch. Is he around here? He's outside. If you want him, you can look through the windows. But yeah, no, that was, and I'm glad to have been able to give you guys that experience. But one thing that was a little strange to me is that even though most of you, except for the few that went to my school, even though most of you have no idea who I am, you still treated me with the same levels of respect and kindness that I got treated with last year as governor. Like, there was an entire faction of people over here a minute ago chanting, "I love you, Will," and I don't think I know any of them. I didn't know any of them. I do now. I love you guys too. We still love you. But yeah, I was surprised to see that, and I fully expect you guys to carry that same energy for the new Board of Public Works and Supreme Court justices and elected officials that we have here today that will be inaugurated soon. And to you guys, I fully encourage you to come back next year. Give the next Boys State, the 85th session of Boys State, the same experiences that we've tried to give you guys. So let's give it up for these guys. And as such, that this is the farewell address. It is unfortunately the last time that I will be able to say my favorite line from last year. Governor out.
Introduce a man who needs no introduction, and that is one Randall Koshes.
I love you guys too, tremendously. So it's my honor and true pleasure to introduce the individual who will be administering the oath of office to your newly elected state office holders. Judge Patrick N. Wilson is a native of Marion County, a graduate, I believe, of the last class in Farmington High School. What's that? Mannington. Oh, sorry about that. I always associated you with Farmington. He did live out in Plum Run between Farmington and Mannington.
first got to meet him in the early 1980s when I was a student. He was very active at that time in debate, and we developed a friendship. He went to the West Virginia University College of Law, and I followed 1 year behind him at the West Virginia University College of Law. And in my second year, his third, we used to study together. And we used to play this game at the law school where we would try to bounce a rubber ball down all the desktops in the classrooms because they just go down like this to keep our brains from being fried from all the laws we were studying. But he graduated from law school, began a practice in Marion County, and soon became an assistant prosecuting attorney. He also served in a law firm, and he eventually was elected to be the prosecuting attorney of Marion County, where he served, in my opinion, extremely honestly with the highest degree of integrity. And that's something I greatly appreciate. When a vacancy occurred in the circuit judge position, one of two in Marion County, he was appointed by then Governor Earl Ray Tomlin to assume the vacancy. He served out that term and was reelected and is currently serving as a circuit court judge in Marion County. He has one son who lives in New York, who is an actor. And it's just a great pleasure for me to be able to introduce to you my friend, the Honorable Judge Patrick Wilson.
All right, I think yes, I am mic'd up. Let me indicate to all of you that it is a pleasure and an honor to be here today, to be involved in these proceedings. Let me indicate to all of you, I've had the privilege to be involved with Boys State in some different capacities over the past several years, and I love the program. Every day, almost practically without any gaps, I run into people who are in professional capacities. Lawyers, of course, other judges, doctors, teachers. And what I find oftentimes is just a continuing theme that a lot of those professionals at one point in time attended Boys State. You all should be very proud of yourselves. You are the leaders. We have the incoming officers that have been elected to Boys State in their capacities. We have all of you as citizens. You are the leaders in your schools and the leaders in your county. And sometimes people come to me, I heard the word ancient a while ago. I turned 65 recently, so that's probably pretty ancient. But people come to me and they talk about all these things, politics, politics, politics. Where's the world going? You know, that sort of thing. I know from my past experience being here with the people that have been part of Boys State, I know with you all that are here today, you're the future leaders of this state, the future leaders of this country, and quite frankly, I'm not a bit concerned about what's going to happen in this world because we've got people like you that are going to be the ones who are providing the leadership. So it's an honor for me to be here, and I would love, if I could, to administer the oath.
We will start with our Supreme Court Justices, the Honorable Joseph Chapman.
Constitution
of the American Legion Mountaineer Boys State,
of the American Legion Mountaineer Boys State,
and that I will faithfully discharge
and that I will faithfully discharge
the duties of Supreme Court Justice
the duties of Supreme Court Justice
to the best of my skill and judgment,
to the best of my skill and judgment,
so help me God.
so help me God.
Congratulations.
The Honorable Matthew Belisario.
Left hand on the Bible, raise your right hand, please, and repeat after me. I, say your name,
I, Matthew Belisario,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States,
that I will support the Constitution of the United States,
the Constitution of the State of West Virginia,
the Constitution of the State of West Virginia,
and the Constitution of American Legion Mountaineer Boys State,
and the Constitution of American Legion Mountaineer Boys State,
and that I will faithfully discharge
and that I will faithfully discharge
the duties of Supreme Court Justice
the duties of Supreme Court Justice
to the best of my skill and judgment,
to the best of my skill and judgment,
so help me God.
so help me God.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
President of the Senate, Mr. Liam McCartney.
Raise your right hand, please. Repeat after me. I, say your name,
I, Liam McCarthy,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States,
that I will support the Constitution of the United States,
the Constitution of the State of West Virginia,
the Constitution of the State of West Virginia,
and the Constitution of American Legion Mountaineer Boys State,
and the Constitution of the American Legion Mountaineer Boys State,
and that I will faithfully discharge the duties of President of the Senate
and that I will faithfully discharge the duties of President of the Senate
to the best of my skill and judgment,
to the best of my skill and judgment,
so help me God.
so help me God.
Congratulations.
Speaker of the House, Mr. Liam Gallagher.
Left hand on the Bible, please. Raise your right hand. Repeat after me. I, say your name,
I, Liam Gallagher,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States,
that I will support the Constitution of the United States,
the Constitution of the State of West Virginia,
the Constitution of the State of West Virginia,
and the Constitution of American Legion Mountaineer Boys State,
and the Constitution of American Legion Mountaineer Boys State,
and that I will faithfully discharge
and I will faithfully discharge
the duties of Speaker of the House
the duties of Speaker of the House
to the best of my skill and judgment,
to the best of my skill and judgment,
so help me God.
so help me God.
Congratulations.
Attorney General, Mr. Sam Struthers.
Raise your right hand, sir. Repeat after me. I, say your name,
I, Samuel Struthers,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States,
that I will support the Constitution of the United States,
the Constitution of the State of West Virginia,
the Constitution of the State of West Virginia,
and the Constitution of American Legion Mountaineer Boys State,
and the Constitution of American Legion Mountaineer Boys State,
and I will faithfully discharge
and I will faithfully discharge
the duties of Attorney General
the duties of Attorney General
to the best of my skill and judgment,
to the best of my skill and judgment,
so help me God.
so help me God.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Commissioner of Agriculture, Mr. Spencer Nolan.
Left hand on the Bible, raise your right hand. Please repeat after me. I, say your name,
I, Spencer Nolan,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States,
that I will support the Constitution of the United States,
the Constitution of the State of West Virginia,
the Constitution of the State of West Virginia,
and the Constitution of American Legion Mountaineer Boys State,
and the Constitution of American Legion Mountaineer Boys State,
and that I will faithfully discharge
and that I will faithfully discharge
the duties of Commissioner of Agriculture
the duties of Commissioner of Agriculture
to the best of my skill and judgment.
to the best of my skill and judgment.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Treasurer, Mr. Nicholas Tustin.
Left hand on the Bible, please raise your right hand and repeat after me. I, say your name,
I, Nicholas Tustin,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States,
that I will support the Constitution of the United States,
the Constitution of the State of West Virginia,
the Constitution of the State of West Virginia,
and the Constitution of American Legion Mountaineers Boys State,
and the Constitution of American Legion Mountaineers Boys State,
and that I will faithfully discharge
and I will faithfully discharge
the duties of Treasurer
the duties of Treasurer
to the best of my skill and judgment.
to the best of my skill and judgment.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations.
Auditor, Mr. Justin Moss.
Left hand on the Bible, please raise your right hand and repeat after me. I, say your name,
I, Justin Moss,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States,
that I will support the Constitution of the United States,
the Constitution of the State of West Virginia,
the Constitution of the State of West Virginia,
and the Constitution of American Legion Mountaineer Boys State,
and the Constitution of American Legion Mountaineer Boys State,
and that I will faithfully discharge
and that I will faithfully discharge
the duties of auditor
the duties of auditor
to the best of my skill and judgment.
to the best of my skill and judgment.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Secretary of State, Mr. Eric Carr.
Please raise your right hand. Repeat after me. I, say your name,
I, Eric U. Carr,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States,
that I will support the Constitution of the United States,
the Constitution of the State of West Virginia,
the Constitution of the State of West Virginia,
and the Constitution of American Legion Mountaineer Boys State,
and the Constitution of American Legion Mountaineers Boys State,
and that I will faithfully discharge
and that I will faithfully
the
discharge
duties of Secretary of State
the duties of Secretary of State
to the best of my skill and judgment.
to the best of my skill and judgment.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations.
Thank you, sir.
At this time, I introduce to you, for the first time about to be your governor, Mr. Samuel Dodson.
Please raise your right hand. Repeat after me. I, say your name,
I, Sam Dodson,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States,
that I will support the Constitution of the United States,
the Constitution of the State of West Virginia,
the Constitution of the State of West Virginia,
and the Constitution of American Legion Mountaineers Boys State,
and the Constitution of American Legion Mountaineer Boys State,
and that I will faithfully discharge
and that I will faithfully discharge
the duties of governor
the duties of governor
to the best of my skill and judgment.
to the best of my skill and judgment.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations, sir.
Thank you, sir. all of the to start, I'd like to thank all of the counselors who came here to help us and support us through all of this. And I'd also like to thank Judge Wilson for taking the time out of his day to come here and provide us with the inauguration. So can we get a round of applause for him? And while these positions were not positions that were sworn in today, I'd also like to thank our party chairman, Christian Arnold and Bennett Liu. Can you guys please stand up, and can you guys give a round of applause for them as well? As Will mentioned, a lot of times the caucuses can get a little bit chaotic, and I know from experience that Christian did a great job of calming ourselves down, and I know Bennett did a great job with working with the Federalists as well, so you guys did a great job. And finally, I'd like to thank all 215 of you guys here. You guys have made the first few days of this like the best days of my summer so far, and I appreciate that dearly. So can you guys give yourselves a round of applause? So when I first heard of Boys State, and as a politically inclined junior in high school, I was immediately intrigued. In my mind, I pictured a bunch of high schoolers with similar attitudes as me, just running around this Jackson's Mill, just playing pretend politics. And to me, that sounded like a lot of fun. I thought it would be a time to be able to take those political processes that we all see on TV, on our phones, on our computers, and really actually get the chance to dip our feet in and actually take a step into those roles, which I think would be awesome. While I fully intended on going and applying for Boys State after hearing about that, the position of governor was not something that I always had in mind. I knew I wanted to be in a political role, and I knew I wanted to be somewhere where my voice would be heard. But did I actually want to take on the responsibilities that came with a position like governor? I wasn't really about all that. At the time, I can't deny that also at the time I had a decent fear in me of pursuing a role like that, because what you do is you really put yourself up for failure. I know there's a lot of people here who ran for something and didn't get elected, and I respect all of you for doing that, because you put yourself in a place where most likely you are going to fail, and that takes a lot of courage, so I appreciate you guys for doing that. Fortunately, a couple months before I came to Boys State, I had a wonderful FaceTime call with one of my friends, who also happens to be our outgoing governor, Will Behrens. And so on that call, I asked him, like, hey, Will, you're the governor, you're a pretty responsible guy. What would you recommend that I do at Boys State? You should run for governor. I can't deny that did strike a little bit of fear into me, because there's someone who I have a lot of respect for, and I hope that you guys have a lot of respect for, who does a great job at what he does, saying that he believes in my ability to do something like that. And honestly, that puts a lot of pressure on a person, and that's not an easy thing to deal with. But as I've heard for the past few days from one of our counselors, Mr. Eric Petty, where is he? Is he not in here? Well, he made sure that I knew that lots of pressure can form diamonds. Hold on. Sorry, y'all. When I arrived here Sunday morning, my mindset had changed some from that talk with Will and just mulling through that over the school year. But I still wasn't in the place where I am now. I had it in my head that I wanted to run for governor, but I wasn't fully convinced that I had the abilities to actually do it and actually put that all in place. At the assembly hall on our first day, I looked out into the crowd and I saw 214 other people who were all incredibly talented and able to have the same positions that I have today. And honestly, that's pretty intimidating, because whenever you first show up here, that's your competition, and I appreciate you guys for being that. But in that assembly, I heard from a variety of our counselors and the former Boys State citizens, including our Governor Will, who have done a really great job at teaching us and coaching us through everything that we've done this week. So again, I'd like to thank all of the former citizens who came back and all of the counselors who come back every year for doing this for us. You all let us know that even if we put ourselves out there and failed to get the roles that we wanted, that experience still served for the betterment of us as people. The reminder, which Mr. Chris Sharps right here gave us during the assembly of President Theodore Roosevelt's Man in the Arena speech was really the turning point for me that made me convinced that I actually did want to run for governor and had that. And if I did that, it was an opportunity that whether I won or lost, it's not something that I should pass up. After some time campaigning and working with all of you, I knew that the decision was not a mistake. I was able to work with an entire group, the Nationalist Party, of very talented people who all supported me and made sure that our party was able to succeed as a whole. And then after those party conventions, I've been able to work with all of you and experience every single one of you here. And I can say that you guys are a great group of high school seniors. So I had counselors who all wanted us to have success and were willing to cooperate and give us their advice and wisdom along the journey. After the election was over and the results were announced, I took some time to look back on the whole experience of the past few days, which have felt like both the longest and shortest few days of my life somehow. I can't even remember what I did yesterday, so that's nice. I took some time to look back, and I concluded that even if I never made it out of the primary for the Nationalist Party, it still would have all been worth it, just because the way that I've seen it in myself, but also in all of you guys, that Boise State has grown all of our leadership skills and helped turn us into model American citizens, and that is an invaluable skill. And so what I'd like for you to all to take away from this is to take advantage of the opportunities that you're given and to never back down or be afraid of a challenge. If there is something, like let's say a role or a goal or a position that you want, put every last bit of your effort into trying to achieve that and aim high. Even if you don't achieve that goal, even if you think that the goal may be too high or a task may be too daunting, still give it your all. As they say, even if you only climb halfway up the mountain, it's still infinitely higher than you would have made it if you never took that first step. And with that, I'd like to encourage you all to pursue your goals with vigor and spread that same message to your families, friends, and hopefully all of the future Mountaineer Boise State governors. And with that, I'd like to thank you all for your time. Thank you for making this the best few days of my summer so far. And I'm looking to finishing this week out with all of you. Thank you.